Welcome back to Taste This. And we're going to continue our whiskey mashup with Blanton Single Barrel versus Baker's 7 Single Barrel. I'm really excited to see how this one turns out, and we'll jump right into it here in just a second. So welcome back. We're going to continue our tournament. We're going to see how things pan out. And today, let's jump in. Let's start talking about Blanton's a little bit. Listen, Blanton's is one of the, one of those highly sought after bourbon hunting finds that we all want to find at retail. We're all willing to pay a little bit more, but it's so highly sought after. Sometimes I feel like it maybe gets a little bit overrated. I don't think I'm the only person. Now, don't get me wrong. It's great bourbon. But, sometimes it's just, I think because it's so hard to find, we tend to give it a little higher place on the totem pole. I think many of us that are bourbon nerds tend to find a few things that we have on our shelf that we often think are better than Blanton's. And here we are. We're going to find out. So it's 93 proof. It's made from Buffalo Trace's mash bill number 2. It's a higher rye mash bill. And as you know, Buffalo Trace is so notoriously secretive about their mash bills. So, whatever that is. It's aged 6 to 8 years. Not really age stated, but age 6 to 8 years. Let's get into Baker's 7. It's 107 proof. It's made by Jim Beam. The mash bill is 77% corn, 13% rye, and 10% barley. Used to be small batch. Now they've changed it over to single barrel, and those are often 8 years or older. I think they're both kind of a little bit higher rye. You got to you decide. This one's 107 proof. This is 93 proof. I think it's really up to you what you like. I tend to lean towards a little higher proof, but at 93 proof, Blanton's is certainly hard to beat. I tell you what, let's start by doing a tasting of Baker's 7 here. So let's get a little bit of the nose. Well, you can taste some nuttiness right off the front there. There's definitely some spices. I've heard people say it's baking spices. I don't know. Is it baking spices? Is it Christmas spice? I don't know. I can smell spice. I tell you that. Smell some caramel, some vanilla in there. Why don't we taste this? Boy, I really like that. It's got a little bit of char in there I can taste. There's some caramel. There's some vanilla. Rye spices. You can feel those right on the back end. You feel that spice kind of on the sides of your tongue, on the back. That finish has got some oak. There's some nuttiness again. A little bit of heat. Not bad, but it's got a nice medium finish. Just kind of lingers a little bit. Very good. Very enjoyable. Very pleasant. The nose, I'd say I'd give that... I don't know, I call that maybe a 6. The palate, I really like the palate. I'm going to give that an 8. And again, on the finish with that heat, that oak, that nuttiness, I give it a 7. So what is that? Is that like a 14, 21? We'll call that a 21 total. But let's get into this. Let's try the Blantons. So what do you think? Are you Baker's 7 fans? Are you Blanton's fans? I don't know. I like them all. They're like my kids. I can't tell you which one I like the best. But let's give this to the nose. I smell some caramel in there, some vanilla. Maybe a little bit of spice in there. I got some sweet in the nose as well. On the palate, let's taste it again. Some caramel there. Again, that caramel comes through really nice. There's a bit of an orange. In some ways, it almost gives me a little bit of an old-fashioned without being an old-fashioned. There's some little bit of spice on the back end. It's so mellow, so easy, kind of sweet. The finish, I'm going to do it again. On the finish, you get maybe some burnt sugar. I always thought that was maybe caramel, but it almost tastes more like a burnt sugar. It's really not hot at all. It's got a very nice lingering finish. Again, I like a good old fashioned, and I would say that if I'm just sitting around sipping, Blanton's kind of gives me that old fashioned kind of feel. On the nose, it's a very light nose. Blanton's is such a great kind of lack of a better term, kind of an upper crust bourbon for people that are just getting into bourbon. It's a nice holy grail for them to find. If you have a couple extra bottles, you gift one to somebody, you're going to seem like you really got something going. But I would say that the nose is probably I give the nose a 5. The taste on the palate, I'm going to say an 8 on the palate. And I really like the finish, so I'm going to give the finish a 7. So overall, if I'm looking at my notes here, this may surprise a lot of you, but Blanton's is going to come in at 20 points, and Baker's 7 is going to come in at 21 points. It kind of surprises me because, to be honest with you, the first time I did Baker's 7, I didn't like it. But the more that I've grown, the more my tastes have grown, Baker 7 just really stands out for me. And this is, to be fair, this is a bit of a shock to me because I thought for sure Blanton's would blow it away, even though I said at the beginning I think it's a little overrated. I think this kind of holds true. If it's me tasting it, and it kind of is, Baker 7 wins the day. This is hey, we're very early in this tournament, and I'm already shocked. So well, there you go, Baker 7. And Blanton's will move on into the secondary bracket, and we'll take it from there. So happy tasting. Have a great week, and tune in for next week's tasting when we'll try something else. So we'll see you soon.